Ooh, she classy.
I didn't see you were licking it. I just saw you looking like a baddie with your cocktail.
She said, oh, she's classy. I'm like...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addi.
And if you can't tell, there's a little bit of something special happening. No, we're not 100 years old. We hit 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yippee!
So we have balloons and cake and a cocktail, and we're telling you about it.
And this cake says 100. I'm not going to lift it up because it's on fire.
That would be so funny.
Hi, look at our cake.
It flies off. The drinks get knocked over, the alcohol catches on fire, the whole thing goes up in smoke.
We can't even record the episode because everything's on fire.
We've all had those moments where we wonder, what if? What if I traveled more? What if I learned French? What if I told that guy to shove it? Yeah, that too. Or what if I got kidnapped?
Or what if I got murdered on the side of the street and somebody
Let's just dive into these stories that could have, would have possibly been much worse. Okay.
Thanks. Oh.
Yay!
Two bitches with asthma blowing up candles.
Oh my
God. Go.
Wow, that's like ASMR.
I was about to say that's like ASMR, like mukbang noises.
Is this what you like? Well, let's get us to 10,000 subscribers. We'll just become feeders. Honestly, I like food, so yeah. They pay for it. Sarah, pasta and lobster. Sarah the other day we were talking about like food competition eaters and stuff. And she was like, I love watching people eat. And I was like, I don't. I hate the sound of it. Like on TikTok, especially when they have like the mic next to them. I put not interested on every single one of those. Maybe it's the autism. I cannot do those sounds. There's like certain sounds I really like feet on concrete. I really like that sound. It scratches my brain. I like when people put wax on the outside of clay. For some reason, that gets me every time. But yeah, when people eat and I see people like doing mukbangs, I'm like, nope, nope. Like I don't like it. Oh, I hate that. I hate it. Yeah. Makes me uncomfortable. I really love a sand cutting video. Yeah, I do too. That sound scratches my brain. Yeah, kinetic sand. Yeah, those, the wax videos, the soap cutting videos, the yeah, I like those. I like that a lot. Yeah. Specifically the sound of Mario's feet in the Nintendo 64 Super Mario. Gotcha. That sound. That's a good one. Scratches my brain. Yeah. That's a good one. We were watching a movie last night. So going off tangent. We were watching a movie last night and it was like a found footage film. Mm-hmm. And one of the... No, we were watching... It was not the movie. Katie and I were watching Reel Shorts yesterday. Like on the TV. The full movie of the Reel Shorts. You know what those are, right? No. They're the TikTok movies. They're like the super bad... Like all filmed on a phone. Oh, and it's like part 7 of 27. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love watching these like that. These ones where it's like, yep. Yeah. Okay. So we watched 2 of them yesterday because sometimes when we hang out, we just like watch them because they're really bad. Yeah, fun to make fun of. You know. So. We need to do that, but turn it into a drinking game. Done. But there was this noise in the second when we were watching that kept sounding like somebody was thunking a fish tank. Like something bad happened. Like every fucking 30 seconds. And I literally was like, I was like, I swear to God, if they do it again, I swear to God, and they do it again. And I was like, Anyway, story 1. Story 1. My potential killer collapsed. This is from when I was 15 in 2014. I used to live in Dallas, Texas, and I went to a pretty ordinary school. Is this
Rap Texas, Dallas.
Yeehaw.
I just imagine. Cobras.
You gotta put like a little cowboy hat on me right there.
Pico de
'cause I went like this.
Ford tough.
Ford Ranger.
Home Depot. Okay. Anyway. I remember, though, that when school ended near wintertime, outside was really dark. I used to have to walk home from school as my parents did not own a car and they were in the process of getting a license. One random day, I remember walking out of school and heading home without my friend. My friend usually walked home with me, but this was on a Tuesday, and on Tuesday she had soccer practice after school. So I walked home alone that day in the dark. I remember passing a shop, seeing a boy slightly older than me standing near it smoking. He was wearing a hood, but I could see his face and he was glaring at me, so I just looked away and kept walking. Then I started to hear his footsteps behind me and I started to panic. I wasn't sure of his motives at one point. I remember I pretended to go on my phone just to make sure he was following me in its reflection. He was. That's really smart.
Yeah, noted. Taking notes.
I was shit scared, so I started sprinting. I don't know if that was the best thing to do in that situation, but I did. I ran halfway to my house and then stopped because I was out of breath. I was also still aware of the boy physically jogging after me, and I got angry for some reason and decided to confront him. I figured he was only about a few years older than me, so he couldn't be that harmful. Yes, I know, I was such a stupid kid. I turned around to confront him, and I saw him standing there, looking at me. Then suddenly, he collapsed. His knees snapped the wrong way, and he fell to the ground, into a puddle.
Oh my God.
It was raining at this point. I screamed, and I think I ran up to him because I thought he must be hurt or something. But then I got closer, realized his mouth was open, his eyes were wide, and his hands were bent at odd angles around his head when he fell. He was making a strange, gasping, choking noise. He was holding a pocket knife. I was sure that if I stayed around longer, I was dead, so I sprinted all the way home. Since then, I have not told anyone about this. I don't know if that random boy died that day, because his death wasn't mentioned anywhere. I always felt guilty thinking I should have called the police, but I was so shit scared. I never had that experience again, saw that boy again, or even heard about him. I still think about it sometimes. What if I had run too slow?
Whoa!
Isn't this one wild?
That's crazy. Yeah. Something was definitely looking out for OP though.
Yeah.
Because the
Literally
odds of that happening. Yeah, literally. I imagine the way that they described it, obviously this is not what happened, but I imagine, you know how all the people died in the ring and they're all like that? That's how I imagine Samara just like popped up right in front of him as he's jogging towards. But it was some sort of female love vigilante, and she came out and she was like, "Not today," and killed him. Yeah,
I think that's actually what happened.
yeah. I would say that's a safe bet.
1,000%. This is absolutely insane. I don't know. I don't know if he was like maybe having a seizure.
Yeah, I don't.
Which seizures aren't great, but hell of a time to
Imagine having a seizure and then breaking your kneecaps and your wrists backwards.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that. I wouldn't want to. Imagine seeing that. First of all, to be a woman is to perform. She immediately ran back
Yeah.
and was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And then saw that he had a pocket knife. Like,
Right.
that's so sad because I can
were literally
empathize.
chasing me.
Yeah, you were literally chasing me with the intent to harm me because you were holding a little baby pocket knife. And I'm coming back to check on you because you look like you just got pulled out of into a TV from a curse of a girl in a well.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I don't know.
he got abracadabra contorted.
Whatever happened to him, if he is still alive, hopefully that was a lesson. And he's like, you know what? No, we're not.
Yeah, I shouldn't do that
a freak.
anymore.
We're gonna calm down. Maybe get a hobby.
Maybe you can get into wood carving. Yeah, that's something really good to use a knife with if you really have a thing with knives. Yeah, I would recommend staying away from knives and away from any sharp objects or anything that could harm another person. Just go be a surgeon.
You get to cut people open, and they want you to, and you save their lives.
Or that's a good one. Or a mortician.
A mortician.
Mortician would be a really good one.
Yep. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody has to do it. Crime scene cleaner?
Mom.
Sorry, you can't cut open bodies as a crime scene cleaner, but anyway.
My mom was like, she says they weren't dating, but like, okay, with this guy who was a mortician, and she thought they were going to go on a date to Moab because that's where someone had died and he needed to do his thing.
Okay.
The details are fuzzy.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, we can go to Moab, like walk around, like check out the town, maybe go on a hike.
Yeah.
As it turns out, when you cremate a body, it takes hours for it to cool down, and she couldn't leave without it. So they just hung out.
Well, did she ask to go, or was he like, hey, we should go
I'm
on
pretty
a
sure he invited her.
date to
I
Moab?
was like, come to Moab with me.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be pissed. I'd be so pissed. You're sitting around in a not a mausoleum, a morgue.
A morgue.
Yeah, that's where they incinerate
mortuary.
bodies, right?
Mortuary.
They're sitting around. Yeah, what do you even do? What do you just sit and play cards?
Do you sit and play Flappy Bird? Because I imagine he was like doing stuff, right?
Was he? Oh my God! Can you imagine that he's like in the other room?
He brought the body with him.
Body. Oh my God!
He's like, I'll be right in. He's trying to be funny. He's like, hey,
Weekend at Bernie's. He comes out. He's like waving. He's trying to scare your mom by like taking the head and rolling it across the floor.
oh yeah, this place is haunted, so be careful.
I have something that I.
Is it a beauty?
Is it an eyeball?
It's beauty.
Anyway,
So yeah, anyway, damn, that's crazy.
damn, that's crazy. So glad that you're okay,
Wow.
though. I mean, damn, that's crazy. That's just crazy. To all of our listeners, what do you think?
Yeah, right.
Let's get 100
Write in what
opinions
you
over
think
this bitch.
happened to that guy, because some people are thinking it's a seizure. Is there anything else that could be? I am not medically minded. So.
No, I think it's a ghost or some sort of spiritual being
Smiting him.
that came down and was like, no,
Stop it.
Stop. Smack in the hand.
Yeah.
Well, smack on both wrists and flip him backwards so they can kick his kneecaps.
Just like grabbed him by the ankles and flipped him. No. Stop it.
Like shaking out a sheet.
Stop. Shake out the bad thoughts.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want to know what that would look like in real life.
Oh, sorry. If I was like, you know,
My father.
if I had power, like if I was an ancient Greek god that could just like cast curses upon people, this is the type of stuff I would want to do. I would want to see someone being a piece of shit, and I just like flick out the blanket.
100%.
Like, don't do that.
Yeah, stop. Flick him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Well, flick him in the head for like. Yes, exactly. I'm super strong, so I flick you, and then that's how you get shaken out like a shit.
You get your gods. Like,
Yeah. Little vigilantes. I like that. Just like the book we're reading. Or I finished. You're reading now.
yeah, they are vigilantes. That's why I can root for them. And they're like, good. Cut out those eyeballs.
It's so cute. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. Have romance.
Okay.
Story 2.
Okay, so the whole first two videos
Yeah.
are going to be phone recorded. I like went to go see how long we've been recording, and I was like,
Oh, that's okay. I think the phone audio will be fine.
I'll just say a little preface in this. I'll be like, if our audio sounds different, it's because I forgot to record our audio the first time.
And I already ate half the cake, so.
Can't do it again.
Oh, sorry.
This is real good
It's
cheesecake.
really fucking good. And I like have been eating fucking lettuce and rotisserie chicken. And I haven't been buying cookies. And the cookie dough that I bought and left at Lee's house when he moved, I don't know if he brought the cookie dough with him or if someone took it, but I noticed I'm not seeing it. So I'm like, I haven't had my cookies in a long time.
Story 2.
I think I almost got kidnapped. This happened during my freshman year of college. I was taking a theater appreciation class, and we had to attend some of the plays the theater department put on. Normally, I went with friends, but for this one, I had to go alone since I had another event when my friends went. The play started at 6:30, so I set out on a short 10-minute walk to the theater. When I arrived, I saw a man standing by the entrance. Out of habit, I smiled at him. I tend to do this with strangers. He smiled back, but there was something about him that made me feel uneasy. We got in line, and he got right behind me, and while we waited, I overheard him muttering to himself about his car and where it was parked. I wasn't really paying attention until I heard him say,
"Where are you sitting?"
I thought he was talking to someone else, so I didn't respond. Once my ticket was scanned, I went in and found my seat. But then, to my surprise, the same man sat down right next to me. I heard him mumble,
"I can't believe it. Right next to me?"
His tone sent a chill through me, but I tried to ignore it. He was probably in his early 30s, and soon enough, he turned to me and started asking questions. Too many questions. "Do you come to these plays often?" he asked. I told him no. He quickly launched into how he was a regular and loved them, even mentioning that his girlfriend was in the play that night. I was still creeped out, but I felt a twinge of guilt for judging him so quickly. Maybe he was just being friendly. But then, something strange happened. Everything I said, he had the same interests and same experiences. It was unsettling. When he asked what kind of music I liked, I decided to mention Regina Spektor. Why did I say Spektor? Regina Spektor, a lesser-known artist, thinking he would know her. His response, "Oh, I love Regina Spektor. She's amazing. I listen to her all the time." Okay, same.
She's not a lesser known artist.
Not, like, no. That's not like, in 2015, that's not, oh, gotcha. That's like, okay, you might just be talking to a hipster.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Was he wearing a little bow tie?
Anyway, it was too much. He was agreeing with everything I said, and the more he did, the more uncomfortable I felt. Right before the play started, a woman around his age sat on my other side. The moment she sat down, he went quiet. Then, oddly, the woman struck up the same kind of small talk with me. She even asked similar questions, almost as if they had compared notes. As she talked, she touched my arm a few times in this weird, too familiar way. Just like the man had done earlier, I felt trapped between them. Thankfully, the play started and everyone went silent, but I could still feel their eyes on me, watching me the whole time. At intermission, the man offered to get me something from the concessions. I declined, but he kept insisting.
"I'll surprise you."
He said, his tone a little too eager. I kept saying no, but he seemed frustrated and eventually got up to leave. As soon as he was gone, the woman picked up right where he had left off, asking me about singing because she thought my voice sounded pretty. I told her I used to sing in high school, but had stopped. Again, she touched my arm while she talked more than once, and it made my skin crawl. When the man returned, he brought back some M&Ms and Milk Duds, both of which looked like they had already been opened. He offered me the Milk Duds, and I declined. He didn't eat them either, just placed them on the floor, like he wasn't sure what to do next. Then he started asking more personal questions about my family and whether I came to college alone. I lied, telling him that I lived with my brother in an apartment far from where I actually stayed. That's when he leaned in and told me he was an amateur music producer and that I had a great voice. I should come by his place sometime to record. He just happened to live near where I said I lived. It was all too much, and the tension in my chest wouldn't go away. Then, his phone buzzed. He quickly looked at it and tried to hide the screen, but I saw the message, "She's really cute. Do you think she'll work?" My heart was racing. I wanted to bolt right then and there, but I didn't know what to do. The woman beside me touched my arm again and whispered that she was going to the bathroom, suggesting I come with her. At first, I thought maybe she'd noticed the man's odd behavior and was trying to help, but then I saw her phone light up in her lap with a message that read, "Yes." It was from an unsaved number. I felt my stomach drop. She never went to the bathroom. We all just sat there the second half of the play, and it dragged on, with tension thick in the air. Both of them kept glancing at me, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. The moment the play ended, I got up and climbed over the woman, making my way to the exit as fast as possible. Once outside, I darted to the bathroom trying to collect myself, but when I finally came out, I saw the man and woman standing in the corner of the foyer, having what looked like a heated, whispering argument. When the woman spotted me, she immediately stopped talking, and the man began walking towards me.
I can give you a ride to your apartment.
He offered. I told him, no, that my brother was picking me up. Then one of my classmates ran over, calling out to me, Susie, Susie. Not my real name, but this is for privacy. The man backed off when he saw my friend. We left together, and as we walked out, I heard him yell behind me,
Susie, hope to see you again.
I didn't look back. I just ran, staying on the phone with my mom the whole way home. Now, I can't stop wondering, why did they act like they didn't know each other when they clearly did? Why did they both ask me the same creepy questions, touching my arm like they were trying to establish some weird familiarity? And what was with the text? Were they communicating with each other about me the whole time? Where did that candy come from? Why was it already open? Why did he eat it? And why did they keep acting like they were trying to separate me, asking if I wanted to go to the bathroom or ride with them? Am I paranoid, or was something seriously wrong? A little note, a girl had been abducted, trafficked, and murdered in my college town a year or two before while I was there. That little note made me a little sad, but I was going to say, man, it's just a couple looking for a third.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay, so the first thing I thought of, do you remember that guy that's like, the back of your head is ridiculous.
Yes.
I have your number, and then like in the movie theater.
Yeah.
That's what I imagined first, and then like the story went on. I was like, what if they're just like trying to spice things up?
Yeah.
Like, do you think she'll work?
That's exactly what I was
Yes,
thinking.
babe.
They're doing that thing where they pretend that they don't know each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they go to this play and they sit next to each other and they're like making little batty eyes.
Yeah.
But then they're trying to get to know this girl. She's by herself. She's young. She's in college.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
She's just their type.
they're just trying to open up a world, and he's like, oh, look how kind I am, and she's like, look how sweet I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get her to go separate ways because they want to kind of introduce the topic separately. They're like,
Right.
okay, it didn't work with him, maybe it'll work with me. Maybe if I
just
can
have a
get
little
her
girl talk.
Yeah, go into the bathroom and be like,
Yeah.
hey, so my husband can't get it up anymore, and said that we have to introduce some 18-year-old.
Yeah. I told my husband I was going to divorce him unless I got a girlfriend, so.
Here I am, asking you to be our unicorn.
I'm just a woman asking you to be, our unicorn. It probably was sex trafficking, but also could have been just a couple looking to spice things up. It could have been their first time trying it. That's why they were a little awkward. They got to work out the kinks.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's really sad to think that it was trafficking because I want to think it's something lighter than what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, women are used as decoys in trafficking all the time, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing where they said, like, do you think she'll work? That makes me a little more inclined to think that there was like a, do you think she'll go for it kind of thing? Not like a, do you think this is the good one? Do you think she should be a good one to get? Like,
yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
That's what I was trying to think on the bright side, guys. Don't judge us for trying to see the light in the world instead of the darkness. We're surrounded by darkness all the time. It's so dark right now. Everything's so sad.
It was a hypothetical scenario. And hypothetically, it was a couple looking for a third. Realistically,
Nope. Couple looking for a third. That's all I'm gonna believe at this point.
The OP did comment that they haven't seen those people since, and hopefully someone said something to them, and they couldn't come back on campus. what if going down the throuple, they were like, oh my God, that was so embarrassing.
Yes, that's exactly the thing too.
They were whisper arguing. It's like, no, you go talk to her. You ruined it. We had her. She liked me.
Yep.
Why are you such a freak, Jared?
That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Like, she's like, you know how much this means to me, Billy. Jared.
Yeah. I asked you to do
how much I
one thing
wanted
for
it.
me. One thing in our whole marriage. My mother was fucking right.
I never should have married you. I should have married the lawyer when I had a chance. And now here I am.
I could have been somebody.
Now here I am with a guy who can't even get his dick hard anymore. And I just want kids.
You can't even give me a girlfriend. Anyway. Next story.
Okay.
All right, story 3. This happened a few months ago, but I still think about it and get chills. I want to preface this by saying, while I don't live in the safest neighborhood, I've lived here all my life without feeling unsafe. Neighborhoods like mine, which are impoverished and predominantly minority, are often labeled as dangerous, but they foster a sense of community among the residents. One night I was walking home after leaving my apartment to buy something at a nearby store. I live in a city that never sleeps, and it was only around 10 or 11 p.m., so it was just a regular early night of me going to the deli to get snacks. There's nothing eerie or weird or dangerous about it. As I entered my building, a man hurried to catch the door before it closed behind me. It's common for people, including myself, to forget their keys or need to use the intercom to enter, so I held the door for him despite not recognizing him and sensing he was intoxicated. My building has 2 sides, and I assumed he lived on the other side since he wasn't a familiar face. Like I said, I've lived here all my life and know most of my neighbors. As I walked into the lobby, there was another boy waiting for the elevator. Thinking back, I don't believe I recognized him either. When the elevator arrived, the boy and I walked in, and at the last minute, the man grabbed the door to join us just as it was closing. It was then I noticed the man had been lingering off to the side of the lobby, waiting for the elevator too. I began feeling uneasy. The man had entered at the last moment, but he was able to see the elevator floor button I pressed. His finger hovered.
Canadian. It hovered over.
Okay. His finger hovered over the button of the floor I just pressed, as if he was also going to press it, until he noticed it was already pressed. I immediately felt my stomach drop, as I definitely knew he was not someone who lived in my floor. Thankfully, the other boy in the elevator was going to a floor higher than mine. When we reached my floor, the man exited the elevator and held the door open, expecting me to exit after him. I hesitated, slightly staring at him without moving. Something inside me urged me to stay in the elevator. Once he realized I wasn't getting out, he let the door shut, and I immediately heard his footsteps going straight down the stairs to exit the building. I stared at the boy, wondering if I should say something. Worried he would think I was weird for just staying on the elevator, even though he passed my floor. I didn't say anything. We reached his floor, and he silently got off, and I took the elevator back down to my floor. I went to my apartment and locked all the doors. What scares me most about this is that my parents were out of the country, so if that creepy man forced his way into my apartment, I would have been alone. I don't know if he was really after me, or if I made the whole thing up in my head, but I've never had this feeling of intuition or uneasiness like that before. Looking back, I wonder if the boy was a guardian angel. And they said, thank you, everyone, for your kind words. I've asked God to send blessings your way. So, blessings on blessings.
So, first of all, why are you letting anybody in your building?
Okay, that's my thought. I live in a big building. There's tons of people that live there. There are people that I recognize for sure. When I go in the door, I pull it closed behind me. I'm sorry. Have your key. I don't know what to tell you.
I needed a bite of cheesecake.
I'm not just letting people in my building.
Yeah. If you live in a city that never sleeps, I'm assuming New York, why are you letting anybody in that building that doesn't belong there? You know,
especially if you don't know them. You know your neighbors.
I mean, we can have victim blame, but
I just want you to be safe.
Yeah, but first thing first, don't let somebody in.
I just want you to make good choices. I just want you to be safe.
You did do the right thing by staying on the elevator, though. Because,
That was a good move.
yeah, if you're always, like we've talked about before, if you think somebody's falling, you go away from your house.
Right. Do not go towards it.
Yeah, don't go in your house and turn on the lights on.
And smart to wait for the other guy to get out of the elevator too, because you don't know either of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. From our last story, I was like, okay, they could be tag teaming.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they could be in this two guys and you never
never
really know.
So
And she didn't recognize the other guy either. So it's like those two guys. But it also could have really just been a drunk guy. And maybe there wasn't footsteps going down the stairs that was heard. Maybe it was
Drunk
footsteps
guy.
going down the hallway, stumbling everywhere, hitting the wall because he can't walk right. Maybe he did have his keys, but they were somewhere where he couldn't find it because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And I
happens.
imagine when OP says that they hovered their finger over like they were about to press it, I imagine being drunk and getting in an elevator and being like,
Oh.
whoa.
Yeah. As someone who's been shit-faced, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that this is actually the couple from the last story in our hypothetical who are just looking for a throuple. They got in a big argument. Jenna drives away. She goes home. She's pissed. Jared goes to the bar, drinks a little bit. He's stumbling back to their apartment.
Walks into the wrong place.
Realize that he doesn't have the keys.
Or he sees another pretty 18-year-old and he's like, I'm gonna go see if I can get her home to Jenna.
Yeah.
Jenna doesn't want me anymore.
Jenna doesn't want him anymore.
I wouldn't blame Jenna for wanting an inconstant man. Is that what it's called?
Incompetent?
No, inconstant.
Inconstant.
When you can't get it up.
Incontinent?
Incontinent.
Incontinent?
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't want to be with an incontinent man if I was Jenna.
Incontinence. I don't know how to say that word.
Gemma, me, triggered.
Yeah.
Gemma! Mark.
We've all been Gemma. I'm still pissed off at that.
For anyone that hasn't seen Severance, don't.
Spoiler alert. I'm pissed off.
I'm also pissed off, and I don't know if I'll ever watch it ever again.
I'm gonna watch it. I'll let you know.
I'll probably watch it.
Yeah. You can't leave it like that. Oh my god.
No, but Ben Stiller, when I find you, why I oughta.
Why, yeah. Have you seen all this stuff that's like Gemma serving face?
Yeah.
She's like crying.
Mark!
Well, she is.
Mark! Yeah,
Bitch,
no.
you are beautiful.
Yeah, she's... Have you seen the TikTok? I saw this TikTok 2 days ago, and it was like, this girl was like, how Mark could have been with his innie and outie, and it was like, fucking two damn bitches at the same damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If they could have just been cool,
Yeah.
Gemma would have understood.
Yeah.
Gemma totally would have understood. She'd be like, you know what? That's not you. That's your innie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Separated.
Sure Mark and Helena would have
They would have figured it
disbanded
out.
No, I think they would have broken up because like Helena probably would have been like, no.
She's like, actually, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucked up of
Yeah,
you.
this was my father's company and daddy's not going to approve of me anymore. So.
And let's not forget. You
forget.
couldn't tell the difference. I was like, I feel like she blew past that way too easily.
She did.
I'm not a woman who would blow past that.
Yeah, because Irv noticed.
Yep.
Irv noticed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he clocked it the second she came in off that elevator for when season 2 started.
Yeah.
He was like,
What's for dinner?
yeah. Mm-hmm. So interesting. Yeah, and her own freaking boyfriend couldn't notice. And then he boinks her.
Right, you still get to boink her after being like, I can't fucking tell the difference. You're the same
Twice.
person
Yeah.
as me.
And her being like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't get to experience it. Girl, stand up. Stand up for yourself.
No,
absolutely the
not.
fuck not.
No, fuck that. Fuck you.
I want to experience it for myself.
No, I'm going to a different apartment and getting a new office shorty. Like, no.
So you're telling me that you're gonna let Mark S dick you both down?
Yeah.
She's had it twice now.
Absolutely not.
And I also kept thinking, I was like, because I'm like, this is Mark S.'s first time ever having sex. Mm-hmm. Right? If you think about it. Which also leads you to be like, how do they even know what sex is?
Right.
How do they even know what romance is? How do they know what any of this is? But them having sex for the first time, I was like, this kind of feels a little like taken advantage of you from Mark, because I'm like, you've already seen her naked,
Right.
and you've already hooked up with her, and now you're doing it again, and she's never experienced this, but you've already had practice with her, unknowing.
Same body.
Yeah, just weird.
It is weird.
Still love Mark Scout.
They can never make me hate Mark Scout. Like,
Mark
they can
S,
never-
on the other hand, Mark S can fucking catch these hands
He's a little
any
brat.
fucking day. You'll catch my fucking hands, Mark S.
Little brat.
I love
They can
Adam
never
Scott,
make me
though.
hate Milchek.
No, nothing will ever make
He
me
has,
hate
like,
Milchek.
little dance
He
moves.
got his
He,
little
like-
dancey dance.
He's fine as hell, so they could not make me
He-
hate that character. Like, oh my god.
Truly.
Him
A
pouting, I'm
masterpiece.
like,
Yeah, Milchek.
certain times of the month, I'm like,
Gnawing at the bars of my enclosure. No, that is me for Mark Scout, though.
oh yeah, I would bark at that man for
It's
sure.
like when we went out to dinner and I was talking about how hot Adam Scott is all the
Yeah.
time, and everyone's like, and then
a standard white man. I'm sorry, I'm attracted to a standard white man.
standard white man with dead eyes, man.
Love
I just
the dead
fucking
eyes, yeah.
love it. I'll eat that shit up.
I'm like,
Give
baby,
it
you
to
look
me.
so sad.
Let me fix you.
Yeah.
You look emaciated. You should let me take care of you and feed you.
I got you, baby.
Yeah. You look like you might kill yourself. Don't, because you're so sexy.
The Victorian child look is really popping off. This one's lighthearted.
Yay, because I don't want to be sad anymore.
You make me want to watch New Girl again. That seems like a New Girl bit. I don't want to be sad anymore.
I love New Girl.
was so
We
funny.
should play, what's it called?
True American.
True American. We should play that.
Yeah.
Except I'm not good enough at politics. So
We're
like,
gonna learn, baby girl.
Yeah.
I don't either.
yeah, it's basically like, because I've read all the rules, it's basically like floor is lava,
Gotcha.
but you're all trying to get to this like middle plot.
The castle of beer.
Yeah, and then whoever gets there has to like pass out drinks.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And I guess you could do it not until there's no more beer.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I want to do it.
That sounds fun.
We should do like a True American party.
We should
with,
do
like, a bunch
yeah.
of people.
What are you doing for the 4th of July?
We could. I have enough space here.
Yep.
So
We'll
be
be
super
true
fun.
Americans.
Hurrah!
Yeah, the
Finish my
good
drink.
America, not the America that they're shoving down our throats with propaganda. If America was just us, it'd be so much nicer.
America would be fucking awesome. To our one follower that listens to us and comments and gives us a lot of feedback, would you like America better? Are you? I can't say it. Even if you aren't American,
Yeah.
would you like America better if it was just me and Jasmine?
Have we got a deal for you? Soon I will be 35, which means I could be president. I don't know how old a VP's gotta be. And then the next year we just flip-flop it.
And then the year after that, we flip flop it.
flip-flop
That's what
again.
Donald Trump's trying to do right now with
It's
JD
exactly what he's trying to do. Wouldn't it be so much better if we did it?
Vance. Straight jacket.
I used to sit and watch cake as a kid. Eat cake and watch Say Yes to the Dress as a kid.
Same. Mm-hmm. Or
So nice.
I have very specific memories very often of me sitting and eating the little cinnamon waffles that came in the like 4
Yum.
the quadrant cinnamon waffles.
Yeah.
Just dry in front of the TV watching Say Yes to the Dress.
I would eat those dry too because I don't like cereal and milk is never something that I'm going to want. I need them to be separate because it gets soggy.
Yeah, I can only eat cereal and milk if it's like immediate.
I can do like cereal and a cup of milk on the side.
That's fair. But you like oatmeal?
Oatmeal is a very new development for me.
Okay.
Like the last 2 months development.
Interesting. Yeah, I hate oatmeal.
Yeah, I think I only like it because it's brown sugar maple with cinnamon in it. And I like that flavor on almost anything.
Yeah, I do too, but I can't get behind the texture.
Yeah. I put a bunch of granola in it, so it's mostly crunchy too.
Okay, that might be a little helpful.
And some blueberries.
Yeah, when I eat it, I'm like, this is baby throw up.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway. Story 4. I was someone else's Let's Not Meet. This was years ago, but I still tell this story to my friends anytime I get the chance. I was the baddie in someone's Let's Not Meet. When I was in high school, I entered a relationship with a very close friend named Ivory. After Ivory and I broke up, we stayed good friends. When Ivory's birthday came around, she asked me to come to the birthday party she was having. The first leg of the evening was at a restaurant I'd never been to, a few towns over. Afterward, we would all return to a mutual friend's house for beverages and relaxation. One of Ivory's friends had volunteered to drive us all to the restaurant, but I'd heard plenty of stories about her terrible driving. As a result, I opted to chauffeur myself in my luxurious minivan. Yes, I drove a minivan in high school. Ivory's friend told me 7 p.m., so at 7 p.m., my black ass rolled into the parking lot. I called Ivory to let her know I had arrived, but they were just leaving. I overheard Ivory tell her boyfriend, "If you tell OP 7, he's there at 7. This all meant I had about half an hour of boredom before I'd have company. Being the introvert I am, I decided not to go inside and wait like a normal person. Instead, I decided to listen to whatever angsty music was on at the time, probably Heartbeat by Childish Gambino. Yes, solid. Moreover, I also didn't park right near the restaurant. The restaurant was located in a plaza, a strip with several other stores along either side. For some reason, I thought it'd be weird for patrons to see me just sitting there like some waiting weirdo. Instead, I parked at the far end of the plaza by the supermarket. I could still see the restaurant, and there were fewer cars on this side of the parking lot. 5 minutes go by. I'm rapidly switching through songs. 10 minutes go by. I'm bored like a piece of pine in a woodshop class. Out of the abysmal silence of boredom, I felt the hum of a text come through. Ivory had texted me, thank God, a brief reprieve from this boredom. As I'm composing a response, I get this weird feeling. You know that feeling when someone is watching you? Like you can almost hear their eyes? I felt something unnerving, so I looked up from the glow of my phone into the darkness before me. What I saw was a family of 4. There was a woman, her husband, and their 2 children. All 4 were looking at me intensely. The woman was standing in front of her 2 children with her hands outstretched as though to shield them from a proleptic and palpable existential danger. The look in her eyes was of sheer horror, like a waiter had asked her is Pepsi okay? I have never seen such utter panic so visible on someone's face, and I once had to physically intervene to prevent an armed assailant from attacking someone. The woman slowly creeped forward, family inching behind her. She began moving toward the driver's side, closer to me with each step, and with each step, her terror rising. At this point, I'm beginning to panic because I have no clue why this woman and her family are snarling at me so aggressively. Did they mistake me for a Jeep pie? Without warning, the husband says something I could not hear through the glass. He extends his arm and points to my left. His wife, children, and I all simultaneously follow his hand. He was pointing 5 spots to the left of my car where there was almost an identical one sat. The mother threw her head back in a single burst of laughter as she unlocked her car. The family left the grocery store to find a black teen dressed in all black sitting in their car. He then proceeded to maintain eye contact for what felt like an eternity. My perplexed expression likely appeared as a more sinister one, especially in the crepuscular light. I'm just glad they realized where their car was before anyone got hurt or the police got called. So, family who thought I was in their car at night, I promise we can totally meet. I'm actually a really nice guy who doesn't steal cars. Edit, I just want to thank everyone for being so encouraging. Oh, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
The writing is very good.
The writing is
that is really funny, though.
It's super funny. Could you imagine if they didn't realize, like, our
that's
car's just
not
right
our
there.
car.
Yeah.
No, but then it does get scary because if they called the cops and he's a black
This could have
guy,
gone so
it could have
wrong.
gone really, really bad.
Yeah.
But
I'm so glad. The dad was like, wait a damn minute.
yeah, I was getting a little worried because I was like, is it just because he's a black kid? Like, is that why this mom is like, oh my God?
Yeah.
But no, I can totally see if she's coming out of the grocery store and she thinks that she's
Someone's
going.
sitting in her car.
Yeah. No, I'd probably freak out a little bit too.
Have you ever accidentally gotten in the wrong car?
I have almost gotten in the wrong car. I have opened the door, the passenger door, to somebody sitting in the passenger seat
Yep.
as I'm about to get in, and I'm like, oh, and I closed it again.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I like opened it, was like, oh, and closed it.
Nope. Yeah. My mom used to have a black Suburban, and those are everywhere.
Yeah.
So it happened a few times. I was like, when did the interior get tan? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple cars. I haven't gotten in any of them, but I have gone to a couple cars thinking it's my car. And then there have been a couple times where I've gone to what I think is whoever I'm with's car, and
Yeah.
I'll go to get it in, I'll stand at the passenger door, and they're like, my car's over there.
Yep. No, I do that because it's like, oh yeah, gray sedan.
Yeah. Take your pick of which one.
Literally every car in the lot.
White truck. Mm-hmm. Take your pick.
Yeah. I have my license plate memorized.
So do I.
So it helps. I'm like, oh yeah.
I also have a sticker of Sal Volcano on my car, so
Yeah.
that also. Have you heard all the stuff that's going on with the Practical Jokers?
I have.
Take my heart and fucking rip it out of my chest. Why don't
Yeah.
you? To be fair, I was never really a Joe Gatto fan. When I was always listing my favorites, it was always Sal, Q, Murr, Joe. I just didn't think Joe was that funny,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
He always gave weird vibes,
Well,
And
as it turns out.
as it turns out. However, if anything, I'm very sad that there's been an allegation against Murr.
Has there really?
Yeah, one.
Ooh, I'm out of the loop.
One.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is. I only saw one TikToks. But if anything ever comes out about Sal jumping, swan diving off the roof, I'm done. I give up on love. Love isn't real anymore. I can't trust anybody in life. If I trust anybody in my life, it is Sal Volcano. Sal, if you're listening, I love you. I have a sticker of you on the back of my car because I love you so much. I just love you. I don't know you,
Yeah.
but it feels like I know you. I've been watching you for the last like 10 years of my life.
Yeah, so don't fuck it up.
No. Tupperware? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh my God, it's he has like a podcast and he's like, Tupperware? No, Tipper. You've never seen this?
That is legit the same Tupperware I give
I
my
have seen
5-year-old
this.
daughter for school every day.
What are you saying? Say it again.
Tupperware?
Say it again. Slow.
Tupperware?
Slow. Very slow. Say the first syllable.
Tub.
So much.
Wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
I thought I caught that. You're throwing
Tupperware.
you're throwing bees at me. It's
What is it?
Peas, babe.
What are you talking about?
Tupperware.
Babe.
Tupper.
It's Tupper?
It's Tupper, babe. It always has been. Always will be. Yeah.
Did you know that? It was Tupper?
I want someone to talk to me like that.
I know. I love him so much.
Like, babe.
Babe, no, you're wrong. Sorry. Sorry, babe.
Silly babe.
Sorry.
I still love you, but you're wrong.
You're so wrong. But yeah, anyway, going back to this, it is that's very funny.
Yeah. That's
I also would be very scared if I saw what I thought was a Republican sitting in my car though.
yeah. I'd be like,
Get out!
a Republican.
I'm more scared of that than anything else.
Yeah.
I see anybody that looks like a Republican outside, I'm like,
I just
"Ugh."
assume you don't like me. Like,
No.
well. Me, I don't have an attitude. I'm not sassy. Well, that could have been worse.
Yeah, but I still don't really want to live any of those experiences.
You know what experience I would like to keep living, though?
The euphoric high of you liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, hitting the notification bell. Because the more you interact, the more the algorithm picks us up and boosts us onto other people's pages. And like we said before, the more followers that we get, the more likely we are to make more content, longer content. You can see more of us. We can branch into other things, movie reviews, game reviews. We could do all the
club.
stuff. Book club, a group book club, if you will. But yeah, make sure to follow us on everything if you haven't already, and send it to your mom and your grandma to follow. Everything on TikTok, Reddit, Spotify. Well, Spotify is just, what was that? But TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook is all what was that _ the pod. And then if you want to send us any stories or anything, feel free to email them to us at whatwasthat.thepod@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for listening.
Wait.
No.
I got so excited.
Thank you so much for listening. You know, I would have thought that some of the...
Wait. What was that?